suffer a serious cyber attack in Europe now, and the law does not just fine your company. It can hold your top management personally liable, force them to sit through cybersecurity training, and for the most critical firms, even ban them from running the business. The rule behind that threat is called NIS2, and most people outside of cybersecurity have never heard of it. So what is it, and why does it reach all the way up to the boss? Its full name is the Second Network and Information Security Directive, NIS2 for short, officially Directive 2022-2555. It was adopted in December 2022 and came into force in January 2023. Think of it as Europe's attempt to set one high cybersecurity floor for every organization a country cannot afford to see go down. Start with the core problem. Modern economies run on a handful of critical services: power, water, hospitals, transport, banks, the cloud. They are all wired together, so a single hacked supplier can cascade into all of them. The first NIS directive, back in 2016, tried to fix this, but it was too narrow, and every country read it differently. The result was a patchwork. Here is the clever move at the heart of NIS2. It does not try to regulate any specific technology, which would be out of date in a year. Instead, it regulates organizations by how critical they are. Figure out who society cannot afford to lose, force them all up to one common security baseline, make them report attacks fast, and put their leadership on the hook. So, who is caught? NIS2 covers 18 sectors, far more than the old law, from energy and health to digital infrastructure, public administration, even food. Inside those sectors, the bigger and more critical you are, the heavier the regime. The top tier are called essential entities, the rest, important entities. As a rough rule, it kicks in at medium size, so from around 50 staff or 10 million euro in turnover. With some critical providers caught, no matter how small. What do those entities actually have to do? It comes down to 3 duties. Duty 1, under Article 21, is risk management. Not vague good intentions, but a concrete baseline of 10 measures. Incident handling, backups and business continuity, encryption, access control, basic cyber hygiene and training, and crucially, supply chain security. You are now responsible for the security of the vendors you rely on, not just your own 4 walls. Duty 2 is incident reporting, and it runs on a strict clock. When a significant incident hits, you have 24 hours to send an early warning, 72 hours to file a full notification, and 1 month to deliver a final report explaining what happened and what you did about it. The goal is simple: no more quietly hiding a breach for months. Regulators want to see the threat while it is still unfolding. Duty 3 is the one that changed the conversation: accountability. Under Article 20, management bodies must approve and oversee these measures themselves, and they can be held personally liable. Back that up with the fines. Essential entities face at least 10 million euro, or 2% of global turnover, whichever is higher, and Germany set its ceiling even higher at 20 million. For the most critical firms, a regulator can suspend the boss from their role. Cybersecurity just became a board-level legal duty. Now, why does this matter for anyone working in banking and AI? NIS2 was written before the generative AI wave, so it never mentions artificial intelligence by name. But every AI system you deploy is part of your network and information systems, and every AI vendor is part of your supply chain. So they fall straight under that Article 21 baseline. The AI Act governs what your AI is allowed to do. NIS2 quietly asks a different question. Here is the twist that trips up everyone in finance. Banks and financial market infrastructures are right there in the NIS2 list, so you would assume banks must comply with it. They mostly don't. NIS2 has a rule, Article 4, that says if a tougher sector-specific law already covers the same ground, that law wins. For finance, that law is DORA. So for ICT risk management and incident reporting, your bank follows DORA, not NIS2. Lawyers call that a lex specialis, the specific law beating the general one. One more catch that confuses people. NIS2 is a directive, not a regulation, so it is not law all by itself. Each country has to write it into national law first, and many ran late. Germany only finished in December 2025, more than a year past the deadline, through a law enforced by the BSI. At the European level, the agency ENISA and a network of national response teams keep it all coordinated across borders. So, if you remember one thing, make it this. Every clause in NIS2 traces back to a single goal: take the organization society cannot afford to lose, and force them to take security seriously, all the way up to the boardroom. Ask of any rule, does this make a critical service harder to break? And the whole thing snaps into focus. I turn this into a one-page map of who is in scope and the 3 core duties, and it is free in the newsletter. Link in the description. If this finally made NIS2 click for you, subscribe, and I will keep turning the rulebook for AI and banking into something you can actually use, one topic at a time.